Sheffield, the Steel City, but its history stretches back much further than its industrial past. Under this wasteland lies the remains of Sheffield Castle, and it's about to be uncovered, but you don't need to dig deep to get to see it.
So this is the best known remains that people have seen in the past. Used to go on tours around this back in the day.
That's working. This is
still got that old smell, hasn't it? This is known as the courtyard remains, and I think it's the main opinion of it is that it was the corner of a large building in the corner of the castle site. It goes down way below the ground here, and I think it is the part where they thought they'd found some Saxon remains as well, but that's not been proven.
Yeah, what they think that is now is the remains of the earlier castle, the wooden one, that was burnt down in 12 something or other.
That's right, yeah.
During the Barons' Revolt.
There's a piece of what appears to be some perfectly cut limestone there, which, because of its colour, we think would have been part of what was known as the White Tower.
Yeah.
So you can imagine a tower in the castle that was completely made of that stone.
And I'm sure I've read somewhere that was quarried at Roach Abbey.
Roach Abbey, yeah. Brought from there, yeah. But you can imagine that we're in, because there's a retaining inside wall there, you'd imagine that this would be a room of some sort.
Yeah.
Some parts of the castle are harder to reach than others.
It's hard to see. There's nothing. Oh, you can just see parts of it there. But this is the old gatehouse of the castle. So it's what remains of the gatehouse. The two pillars, or the two towers that led into the castle. And it's been locked in this chamber since the 1950s, since the big Castle Market building was built over the top of it. So when they were doing the excavations in that period, they decided to keep parts of it in this chamber for people like us to find at a later date. But this is the first chance that you've really had a chance to look at it for many, many years. Where we stood now would be just as we were about to go into the castle, and we probably stood just in front of the moat in this part here, so the moat would have gone right round there and right round that side down to where it joins with the dock. So we'd have been faced here with the walls of the castle.
Yeah, we'd be banging on the walls now saying, please put the drawbridge down.
Several weeks later, and the dig is underway, whatever the weather.
It's not the best weather, is it? This is quite unpleasant to work in. Archaeologists are a hardy bunch, and we do persevere if we can. It's going good, I think. Yeah, we've mostly focused on 19th century remains, industrial remains, which we've had to get down through to get to the lower deposits associated with the castle. But we're beginning to get some structural remains, maybe not the spectacular sort of foundations that were discovered by Armstrong and Butcher in the early 20th century, but nonetheless we've still got foundations of walls made of rough stone, and we think we've got the surface of the courtyard of the castle. So those are exciting things, and I'm very pleased to have them. All of the people of Sheffield have been extremely keen to engage with this project. Walking down the street and people, they can see I'm wearing the high vis, and they ask me questions, what's going on. We've had lots of volunteers coming on to dig with us, and we've been given tours as well, which have been very enthusiastically received, and we're very grateful for the high regard that the people of Sheffield hold this site, Sheffield Castle, in. We've had some medieval pottery, which is extremely significant for Sheffield. It's very rare that we get medieval layers in Sheffield, which was quite a small settlement in medieval times. And maybe the thing I'm most excited about at the minute is a small ear spoon that we found, which would have been used for removing earwax from your ears. So that's a small detail that we've enjoyed.
I never thought I'd see this day, but we owe an awful lot to the University of Sheffield, the University of Hallam, the students involved. It's been a combined exercise, but most importantly, it's important to the people of Sheffield who've literally been applying to come here and work on the site, volunteers. It fires people's imaginations. It's going to give Sheffield a whole new name, and Sheffielders perhaps a feeling that they have a past they've never really appreciated.
And that past has been brought to life in other ways. Students at Sheffield Hallam University have been painting the hoardings around the site, inspired by the city's heritage.
We've all been given a time related to the castle and a word. So our word was 11th century and peace, which is why we've got the doves, and we've also got the flower of Sheffield and a shield as our kind of motif. When you've just moved to a city, I mean the majority of us have only moved in a week before. We're already out in the city doing stuff, and we're just experiencing it in a completely different way that I think some people who've maybe lived here their whole lives wouldn't even get to experience it. I've been speaking to people about, oh, do you know where there was that castle and they're digging it up? And people are like, what? There's a castle here? And it's like, yeah. So it's pretty interesting to sort of, broaden your horizons in so many different ways.
This is the last day of the excavations, although there's a lot of other work to be done in processing the finds and backfilling all the trenches, etc., etc. But exciting times. They have found the castle. In fact, they've found several castles, because there were apparently a Norman Motte and Bailey here, which was constructed like a big earth mound, and they've found what might be the remains of that. They've also found a layer of charcoal containing hazelnuts and other organic matter, which is being carbon dated, and they think that may be the remains of the first wooden castle that was burnt down during the Barons' War. And what this dig has done is it's put the castle back into Sheffield, because we've got the River Sheaf that runs beside the castle here, and the castle was built where the Sheaf met the Don. Sheffield gets its name from the River Sheaf. So this is where Sheffield began.
So the dig is over and the trenches have been filled in, and it's hoped that Sheffield Castle will make a return to the city very soon.